Hello, fabulous Libra. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of December 2014, Love Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. This month, where it comes to love, there is a strong association this month between love and partnership and friendship as well. I have been saying to the air signs this month rather, that, and I do believe this very much, that for an air sign, you fall in love with your best friend. You fall in love with the person that you have a strong mental connection with, that you can actually talk to and enjoy their company and sit around with, feel that they support you, that they want to interact with you, that they want to know you, and you them. These are the things that, if you have an air sign in your life, these are the things you got to do if you want to get one of them to love you, is be a friend to them. And that emphasis is especially strong this month. We have got a full moon taking place, and this particular full moon is happening in a part of the sky that has to do with vision. But this particular full moon is also speaking with Uranus in your opposite sign. And what happens in your opposite sign speaks most strongly to love and speaks to partnership as well. And it really is what happens in your opposite sign that speaks to what you are attracting into your life. So we have got this full moon bringing a rise to emotion, bringing truth to light, bringing things to the surface. And at the same time, we have got this full moon activating these changes and surprise attractions that you've been experiencing since the beginning of the decade, will be for most of the remainder of the decade as well. And you put this together and it is just as it sounds. It is as if you are coming to a deeper understanding of what you actually want in love, and just as quickly it is able to present itself to you. The fact that all this air sign energy is being activated suggests that friends are going to play a part, and friendship in general is going to play a part in your experience of love this month. Now, you add to this the fact that we have got Venus meeting Pluto at the very bottom of your chart. And while it makes for a right balance of sort of a more airy mental kind of energy, right? A connection happening on a level of mind and fun and quickness. And at the same time, some very intense energy playing out as well, especially where it comes to how safe and secure do you feel in the context of your life and the people in it. So if you are in an established bond, I do think the fact that Venus will meet Pluto at the very bottom of your chart is going to be one of the dominant energies. This isn't so much a dominant energy in terms of how it's being reflected in your love life, as much if you're just sort of dating somebody or getting to know somebody. With these different configurations taking place, it does suggest you're getting new insights and also some really fun moments as well, some nice moments, fun moments with a partner, which should be really nice, which should help you feel sort of that you're kind of on the same page, that you're with somebody whose company ultimately you enjoy, who feels really right. But at the same time, because especially if you're in a partnership, there is going to be a major turning point that is set to take place for you this month. And it has to do with, as I talked about in the general horoscope overview video as well, it has to do with you deciding on your emotional reaction. Are you going to react from a place that is based in what happened in the past, or are you going to decide to elevate the situation and elevate the conversation? Now, in some way, this speaks very close to the heart, speaks very close to home. And it does look also like if you are with somebody with whom you have a family, this month in particular represents an important turning point where you are really coming to realize what has been, but more importantly, what you no longer want to be. And that in turn is going to empower you to make some very purposeful changes that are going to speak profoundly to your relationship. In fact, I do think that for some of you out there, there's going to be this very deep appreciation that where maybe you have been holding on to something that ultimately is getting in the way of you moving into a more empowered future. And why have you been doing that? And I actually think for some of you out there, I'm going to be really honest, but it does look like it's almost as if, you know, it's often said that in relationships, when we find one person accusing the other person of certain things that have no basis in reality, it's usually because the person doing the accusing is actually doing those very things. And this is something that I think some of you out there are going to have to look at this month. Are you holding a wound, or are you accusing your partner of something that actually is happening with you? Are you projecting some feelings, some insecurity, or even some actions that really are speaking more to what's happening with you and your own experience? So this is a chance for you to be really honest with yourself in that regard, as part of gaining a sense of self-knowledge, but also changing strategy so that you actually are helping to move this partnership in a direction that you truly want it to go. Those of you who currently are dating somebody, I think about, when I look at the sky, about there's this one song I remember by Mary J. Blige way back in the day. And it was really about, I remember the key tagline, it's just coming to me now. The key tagline was, "You remind me of a love that I once knew." And it's almost as if I'm seeing somebody that you're dating or sort of getting to know doing things that trigger a reminder of someone else. And so this is your chance again to say, okay, I'm being triggered in this regard, but this person is not the same person. So how are you going to respond differently? But ultimately, where it comes to dating energy this month, I do think the fact that we have got this full moon happening that's just so positively speaking to Uranus, it just suggests to me that you're likely to see things in this person that you really like. You feel like, wow, this person, you could really see yourself moving into a future with this person, and just feeling overall really positive about the connection and continuing to nurture that connection. But for some of you out there, as I said, there might be a trigger that is ultimately about you understanding that, yes, there may be some reminders here. Now, what does that say about you? What lessons you still have? But more than that, what is it that ultimately you are projecting that is not about this person? How is this situation different? And choosing to empower the absolute best in your current circumstances. Those of you not currently in an established bond, what an important month it is for you. I do think that this is going to be a month, just on one level, where there's a lot of reflection taking place, a lot of soul searching taking place, which ultimately is about deciding what wounds you're going to carry into the future. But more than that, it's almost as if I'm seeing you, maybe some patterns, your primary caregivers, maybe having more to do with you saying, you know, I remember that relationship my aunt and uncle had, and I never want to repeat that, and I never want that to be my relationship. And maybe because of that, you've been keeping a relationship, another relationship at bay. It's that kind of insight that you're set to have now that really could just be such a game changer for you, could really transform the landscape, make you more open to love than you knew before. Once you identify what that thing is that ultimately is getting in the way of your stated intention of experiencing greater love. But having said that, I do think the likelihood of you meeting somebody this month is very strong. It looks light, it looks breezy, it looks fun, it looks social as well. And so keep that in mind. Have a lot of fun with friends. If you're invited to anything social, make sure that you go, because the chance of you actually making a connection with somebody that is quite promising, especially in the first half of the month, seems to be very pronounced as well. Just be mindful of yourself, because as that energy, that nice light energy will give way to, and we do also have this really intense energy playing out. So just watch yourself, be mindful of your own reactions, where they are based in the current circumstance and where maybe they are not. And that in turn will allow you to more consciously navigate your love environment this month. One thing is for sure though, the universe wants you to get clear about who you are, not carry the past into your present and therefore not into your future, but also have a lot of fun in the process as well. The universe wants to remind you that there is an abundance of friendship on offer this month, and as part of that, surely will come love.